So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the LaTangela Show podcast. I'm the voice inside your speaker box, and it does my heart well to have this time together. Well, we'll unplug, unwind, we'll chit about this, we'll chat about that. I have questions that need answers, and today in the hot seat on the tan line, he's back. He's back in full effect, Chief Morse of the BRPD. We're going to chat with the chief. You can do it as well. All you have to do is set that appointment by logging on to brpd.com. And in that lower right-hand corner, there's a box that says chat with the chief. Set the appointment, ask the questions, and let's see how we can best work together to move the initiatives forward in the right way. Now, you know, summer months are here, so we're going to talk about summer safety tips. We're also going to talk about some of the employment opportunities. So I want you to keep it locked right where you have it. Thank you so much to everyone who's been placing the nominations with 225bulletinboard.com. Yeah, it has been an ongoing situation where we're saying thank you. We see you. We appreciate you. We cannot do this without you. To our teachers and our support team members. Thank you so much to Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys for the partnership with Gordon Gives and Tan Cares. Now, it's been nothing less than amazing, and we're going to keep it rolling. So if you have a teacher or a support team member that you would love to nominate, we want to hear all about it. 225bulletinboard.com. We'll select 2 winners each month. The winners will receive $250 as a token of our appreciation and some space on our billboards, just to say we see you, we appreciate you, and to encourage others to pay it forward as well. You know, I am the queen of random research, and sometimes things just find its way to my desk, and I was like, is this true or not? According to communication psychology, people are as nervous to reach out to old friends as they are to start talking to a stranger. Is it true? A new study about old friendships found that even when people say they want to reconnect with their old friends, only about 1/3 actually go on and do so, despite having the time and contact details. Well, why don't we get in touch? Because people reported they feared their friend did not want to hear from them. That's why so much time passed. Okay, well, maybe we could just get back to it. Don't text, don't call, send a letter, actually buy a stamp and use it. I don't know. If you want to reach out, reach out. Tell them hello. Chances are they're thinking about you too. Lightning season is upon us. Did you know? National Lighting Safety Council has actually reported that one of the less than great things about summer is that it's also lightning season. We know what that weather starts hitting for around here. But each year in the United States, lightning strikes around 37 million items. Now, sadly, it also reportedly kills about 21 people a year in the U.S. on average. I did not know that. Did not know that. Wow, the more you know. Well, here's something stemming in from Huffington Post. Everybody's finding their way to the restaurants because we want to sit down and have ourselves a nice fancy meal, put on our good clothes, get some of the good food, and I encourage you to do so. But here are a couple of things that we want to keep top of mind. Anyone who has tried to get a table at a crowded restaurant knows that treating the restaurant host politely may help. Take your home training with you, okay? Not everyone treats frontline workers with the respect that they deserve. And here are some of the rudest things, according to HuffPost, that we can do at the restaurant with the host. Not greeting them when you walk in. Greet your host. It's okay. Be polite. Not responding to a notification that your table is ready. Rude. Bringing more people than you booked for the reservation and then expect them to make room. Huh? Okay. Oh, and the other thing that they listed for this one, what about that table over there? I want that table. Well, no, you can't have that one. That one is actually reserved for the 4 people that's going to show up, not the 12 that you have with you. Okay. That's just some food for thought while you're out and about booking your nice little getaway. Now, Psychology of Behavior, it's a research publication. I read through this often because they always have something that I think is pretty good, decent. Here's why you're stress eating. Yeah, you're expanding your waistline because you're stressed out. Well, scientists actually found that stress can make food taste worse, causing people to eat more to feel satisfied. So that's why we go in on the seafood like that, because we're stressed and we just needed more to make sure that it was tasting okay. I don't know about that one. I don't know. They may have to go back to the drawing board and do some more research. Well, when it comes down to making sure that we're getting the right amount of vitamins, make sure that your brain will benefit from this, a multivitamin. Now, that's according to researchers who found that a daily multivitamin improves memory and slows your brain's aging. All right. Okay. Just make sure that you check with your medical consultant first, because I don't want to tell you to take something that does not work best for you, but that's coming in from Harvard Medical School. So I guess they did put in some research, but do your own research for your own health first and foremost. Oh, wow. Oh, I feel attacked, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is coming in from UK, and this is their School of Business. Like 30% of all pictures posted online are selfies. Okay. If you're constantly sharing selfies with the online world, then you're probably having issues with real life people. That's not true. That's not true. A recent study found that people who post the most selfies have shallow relationships with the flesh and blood people around them. That's not true. And I feel attacked, and I want them to take this back. Take it back. Either or. I want to hear from you. Stick around. We do have some great information coming up. And of course, if you would like to be a guest on the LaTangela Show, all you have to do is submit your information at latangela.com. Keep it locked. And after you're traveling around, taking those selfies, make sure you don't have real life issues with the people around you. I mean, it's really like, who took time to conduct that research? That's whack. Let's see here. Do a little work right here. You were supposed to hit this button. That was your job. Yeah, that was your job today. Good morning, sunshine, and welcome back to another episode of the LaTangela Show podcast. You never know who's going to be in the hot seat or on the tan line, but I've got questions that need answers. And I needed to go to the one with the source because the summer months, we've talked about it, it's warming up. And when things warm up, the crime scene tends to warm up along with it. But opening the line of communication always helps us to stay clear and avoids the miscommunications and avoid us having to explain after the fact, right? So none other than the chief of BRPD, Chief Morse, how are you?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me back. I enjoy being in the studio with you. It's always fun.
No, thank you for always being so available to say, now is the time for us to hold these open conversations, to ask questions, to give answers, and to find different methods that'll help across the board. Here it is. You're almost, 7 months in? 6? Who you say, yeah. Don't push it. We're inching our way through.
Yeah.
So far, what has been a highlight for you? I love to start off with the highlights.
So the biggest highlight is meeting with all the men and women of the Baton Rouge Police Department, and then all the community meetings I get invited to. So I'm getting invited to a lot of things that never before would have been invited to. So I'm getting to go in a lot of other spaces and places and meet and mingle with people. That's been the biggest highlight.
And that's important because we do have a lot of community stakeholders and those who are out and about doing the work. And sometimes they don't feel seen. They don't feel as if they're included. And knowing that, one, you're invited, but then it's important enough for you to come. Once you see the work that's being done, do you see that the void is now being filled, or how we can best connect those dots?
Yeah, I definitely do. So going all over the city, North Baton Rouge, South Baton Rouge, no matter who I'm talking to, everybody is speaking from the same place, really, right? It doesn't matter what race they are, what kind of economic status they're in, where they live. Everybody wants to see Baton Rouge get better. They want to see crime go down. Where we get there might be a little bit different, but everybody wants to pull that same direction. And so that's very encouraging. And all the meetings that I go to, everybody has been very, very encouraging.
That's always a good thing. And I know that the line of communication is open for you. You do have the Chat with the Chief tab that's available on your website. So I encourage you to reach out to him. You see, he'll show up. And if he's not answering the questions, we'll call him in and he'll show up. So what are some of the questions that's come across your desk so far that was like a refresher for you? Maybe it just wasn't top 10, but it was at number 11, number 12.
Yeah. So when I go out, I tell people, I said, look, we got 2 links on the police department website, on BRPD.com. One is to make a complaint on an officer, and you can do that anonymously. You can complain on an officer, and we're going to look into that and we're going to investigate that. But right next to that is also compliment an officer. Tell us about an officer that did a good job. Across the country and just in general, you go out to eat at a restaurant, it's easy to complain about the service and not give a good review. So I encourage people to give us the good reviews with the bad reviews. And we're seeing an uptick in that. We're seeing an uptick being able to highlight the good things that our officers are doing.
That's good.
On Facebook, on our social media platforms, that's been very encouraging, being able to uplift those officers. At the same time, taking the complaint seriously and holding officers responsible for the times that they mess up.
Because that's important as well. Just making sure that the voices are being heard and that it's not falling on blind eyes, deaf ears. That's important. Because if we make the complaints, we make the compliments, and it just sits there, then no one will feel the need to even express themselves.
Yeah,
right?
I have a meeting today. Someone filled out that 15 minutes with the chief. I have a meeting today. I think when I leave here at 10:30 or so, with someone that they didn't feel like their voice was heard.
Right.
So they did the request to see the chief, and I'm having a meeting with them today to talk about an incident that they happened and some concerns they had with an interaction with one of our officers.
That's good. Accountability is key, especially now that we're looking to expand the service, the office. Tell me a little bit about what does that look like? We're hiring, we'd love to retain, but what are some of the qualifications that you're looking for that would make a good officer for the BRPD?
Number one thing is just a heart for service. At the end of the day, police officers are public servants. And so you have to have that public service mentality and wanting to help your community.
Right.
So that's the number one thing, just a heart for service. And then beyond that, of course, we have minimum requirements of high school graduation and, clean record and all those kind of things, some physical fitness standards. But at the end of the day, just someone that is looking for a career, that has that heart of service, and you want to put that into law enforcement.
When it comes down to being the one that's on the forefront, you're going to get the praise. You're also going to get the lack thereof, right? How important is it that the leadership stems throughout the entire department? Because a lot of that is going to be reflective of leadership, what's being upheld, what's being expected, what's being accepted. How does that weigh in on you day to day?
Yeah, it's definitely a heavy burden, right? Leading from the top. One good thing about me is that I came from inside the department. So all the officers on the department know me. They know what kind of officer I was when I was on the streets, and they know what I expect as a leader. So they know that they need to toe the line. They know the things that I expect of them, but they also know that I have their backs when they're doing things correctly and they're doing the things that I train them to do.
Right.
So I come from a unique place like that. One of the things that I've done recently is anyone that is not working in uniform patrol, so everyone from detectives to operations, all the background officers, even up to my command staff, those that are in leadership roles, and even myself, are taking turns working on the streets. We're getting out there, seeing what the officers that are on the streets doing day to day, helping them out, alleviating some of that manpower issues we have, and then just also remembering our roots came from, kind of staying that mission ready, making sure your equipment still works, your uniform still fit, that you can still go out there and answer calls. I actually spent some time out yesterday afternoon working in North Baton Rouge with our 4th District evening shift, answering some calls, helping back them up on some calls. And so that was good to get back out there on the streets and interact with the public in that setting, and also show them officers that I'm willing to put on the uniform and invest and help them out.
That's good. We see a lot of things going on in the community, and I know that the police team, they can't solve all of the issues themselves. Whenever we see you out on a day-to-day basis before we have to dial 911, probably makes us feel a little more comfortable to be able to call and say, okay, I do have an issue, or I do have information, because the crime rate, it's one of those things that we can't hide from. It's one of those things that we have to continuously jump in front of. Summer months are here. We're seeing an uptick in a couple of things, like on the news. Just say if we're reading some of the highlights that's coming across with car thefts and some of the summer months safety tips that you would give for that. What was that? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we are seeing a decrease in our violent crime right now, but we are seeing kind of an uptick in some of our property crime, our vehicle burglaries, our auto thefts, things like that. As we're in these summer months, some of the things that I would say is one, if you witness a vehicle burglary, something like that taking place, call 911. Don't try to intervene. Don't try to stop that. But then some common sense things. If you are gone on vacation, let's not post the pictures from your vacation while you're still gone.
Oh, that real time gets us in trouble, is what you're saying?
Letting everybody know that, hey, guess what? I'm not home. I'm not going to be home for several days. That leaves you vulnerable to become a victim of a crime. Yeah. So keep your houses locked up. Keep your alarm systems on. Don't let people know that you're out on vacation. You're out of town. Keep your vehicles locked. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of just vehicle burglaries happen with unlocked vehicles. A lot of guns stolen out of vehicles because those cars are left unlocked.
Let's talk about these guns too. When you say a lot of stolen guns, if you notice that your gun is stolen, what are some of the things that we should do first?
Yeah. So number one thing, any of your big purchase items, especially your guns and your laptops and big screen TVs, things like that. Let's keep those serial numbers written down. Someplace in a safe spot, not on your phone, which could also be stolen or lost. Right?
My phone has everything.
Some kind of iCloud or something that you can easily access. Let's make sure we have those serial numbers written down so that we can enter them into our national database. So that when we find them, we'll know that they're stolen and we can recover them. But if something is stolen, call us. Let us know so that we can follow up on it. We can put it in a database. If we are able to locate and recover it, we can, one, arrest the person that has it, and then two, we can return it to you.
Yeah, you don't want to go around and not say anything about it at all, because if it comes back linked to a crime and it wasn't reported stolen, there's another issue.
Yeah.
Do we have any of those?
Some more safety stuff. When I was out there working yesterday, one of the calls that I handled just by myself because I was around the corner, an elderly lady was getting some roof work done, and she had two bullets in her shingles.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't even sure that were there, but they found it when she was up there. Now, next week, we have 4th of July coming up, so it'd be remiss not to warn people, hey, shooting guns and stuff in the air for 4th of July, those bullets have to come down. They can be very dangerous. They can come down and hurt somebody, kill somebody, and then other than that, just cause property damage, hit people's roofs, hit people's cars. So be very careful. We don't want to see people shooting guns in the air celebrating 4th of July.
And that's definitely a top of mind. Someone needs to be reminded of that. Yeah, you're out here and you call it a celebration. You're popping the guns in the air, but the bullets must come down, and they don't have names on them. So there's no way you can say, oh, I didn't know, but it's even harder for you to trace where that bullet came from. And we have too many broken family circles that's really causing too much of an uproar, We were talking a little bit about the junior cadets on your last run. I love to find different ways that we can highlight your branch to say, when I grow up, I'd love to be a cop. When I grow up, I'd love to serve. Now you're granting these opportunities for young adults to do that. What does it look like for them?
Yeah, we definitely want to interact with our youth, young people. We're seeing, the violent crime criminals getting younger and younger. So we got to get involved with them younger and younger. We have our Explorer program. Volunteers from 14 to 17, that age 13 to 17, where they can come out and get a peek behind the curtain, do some volunteer work. We give them uniforms. They can be part of the organization, learn what it's like to be a police officer. Once you turn 18, we can actually hire you full-time into our cadet program. You get full-time benefits and all that. Come and work for us as a cadet. That time will carry over for when you turn 21 and you want to work as a Baton Rouge police officer, then that time carries over for you into your retirement. And so it's a good opportunity. You graduate high school and you're looking for something to do. You know that you want to be a police officer. You want to see what it's all about. We have that opportunity to hire you at 18.
Well, listen, I'm about to turn this into the won't ads. I'm about to turn this into a recruitment. And as your agent, listen now, I need 89 percentages. No, I can't broker the deal.
We'll get you finder's fee.
We really want to grant these opportunities for our young adults, the youth. So many different businesses are now taking a different measure to make sure that they're keeping things safe, right? Made headlines the other day that the Mall of Louisiana, they're doing something different. It's not new because other states, they've adapted to doing this. And now this is something that over at the Mall of Louisiana on Friday and Saturdays after 4 p.m., if your child is 18 or under, they'll need to be accompanied by an adult. They're requiring wristbands and things of that nature. How does that impact the usage of our police? Are they doing that privately, or will they have to?
So kind of a combination. The mall has their own private security. We have some officers that are assigned to the mall because it's so big and such a big thing. We have some that are assigned there as their full-time duty. And the mall also hires extra duty officers at nighttime to kind of supplement their own private security to enforce any arrests or enforce any of those policies. So we will have officers out there to help the mall when it comes to those kind of things. We will make sure that parents, the mall is not a babysitter for you, which is kind of turned into, we're seeing, 15, 16-year-olds out there 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night with the mall shut down and they have no place to go and they're just hanging out. And especially, on Saturday nights, fights breaking out and things like that happening. So I think that's why the mall is going that direction.
Definitely a safety measure. And for the summer months, we just really want to stay on top of that. But another situation that we kind of touched on briefly last Friday, and I know that it's still an ongoing situation, being that everyone is kind of trying to see the headlines of the St. George situation. What does that look like for your department? Yeah,
so the St. George becoming a city does not affect Baton Rouge Police Department in our area that we have to service. It didn't take away or add to any of it. It doesn't affect the calls we're going to have to handle or the area we have to service at all. We're going to have to see with the negotiations on how much the city parish is going to still help out St. George when it comes to the roadways and trash collection, all that kind of stuff. All that is still so new. I'm not really sure what it's going to look like financially, but our calls for service and the things that we're responsible for is not going to change at all.
Yeah. And this summer, you all have been engaging in a lot of these summer programs. I've seen you out and about with basketball. They're out here doing the football camps, just about any and everything to stay active and hydrated because the sun is winning. I don't know about anybody else on the court, but the sun is winning.
Yeah, he's kind of disrespectful right now.
Yeah. How is it that others can get involved and say, we're doing this event and we would love for the BRPD to be a part of it as well?
Yeah, so reach out to our community service division. You can call 392,000 and ask to be transferred over to them. We have a great group over there, and that's their full-time job is community service, and they include officers that work in those specific areas where they're hosting the events. We love being a part of any events that y'all have out there. Reach out to me. I like going to them as well. I like being invited to go to those things and be able to just kind of hang out and see the good things that are happening in Baton Rouge, which need to be highlighted more.
Right.
Where, everybody highlights the negative things that happen in Baton Rouge. We need to highlight all the amazing things that are going on every weekend, all throughout the year.
Yeah.
We do.
Absolutely. If you had to think of something that's going to pull you through for the next half of the year, because we're halfway, a little bit more than halfway through the year right now, what's on that wish list? What is on that to-do list that you really want to conquer before we reach the end of 2024?
Wow, this is the hot seat. Yeah, so I've really been just trying to go week by week right now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm just, getting my feet underneath me in this new position. But I really would love to just keep pushing our brand. I know that the Baton Rouge Police Department is an amazing department, one of the best in the entire country. And I want to keep pushing that forward and build those bridges and those gaps with the community so that the community knows that they have when they call 911 or if they have an issue, that they have well-trained professional police officers that are going to show up to handle their situation.
Yeah, I love it. And right now, with the technology being the way that it is, what are some of the things that we can tap into? I know that businesses and some of the home security systems, they've been an option for the police department to be able to at least pull those cameras to see what's going on in some of the areas where you may have questions that need answers and people may not want to raise their hands to say. What does that look like?
Yeah, so it's really easy through Connect Blue on our website. A couple different options. You can say, hey, I'm a business that would love to have a camera posted here. I'm a business that already have cameras and you can have access to them. Or, hey, I'm a resident and I have cameras on my house, I have Ring doorbell cameras or other cameras that face outward, not inside the house, but anything that faces to the public. And you can just say, hey, this is where I live and I'm willing to share things with you. And so that we know that a crime happened here, we can then pull up on our map and see pins of different areas like, oh, well, this person said they have cameras and they're willing to share that information with them. We can just send an email, phone call. Hey, would you mind looking at this date, this time, see if your camera captured this vehicle or see if they captured this person running to help us be able to solve those crimes. Because we know that all these crimes, these vehicle burglaries, things like that are being, we might have 10 of them that happen over a weekend, but they're done by the same 2 people. Wow. So if we can get those people under arrest, then we're going to see a decrease in those vehicle burglaries and everything that's happening. So we really could use the public's help with that technology and those cameras.
Now, that's not you watching us 24/7. We have to give you access. Now, walk me through that process. Because, I'm okay with you having access to the cameras. But is the camera is Big Brother always watching?
No, I mean, we have some cameras, of course, that are tied straight into our real-time crime center.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the cameras, and they're all, again, all public facing, downtown at some of the parks and just other places like that. We have cameras that are tied into the real-time crime center, but the majority of that Connect Blue are people that are just like, hey, if you know of something that happened, send me an email and I'll check my camera and whatever I find, I'll send back to you.
Okay, I like it.
So not us tapping in and watching whenever we want.
Now, I was just asking, not that I'd be word. I was just asking, I had to ask the question for the people. But on top of that, you have a lot of families that may be afraid to say something because they don't want to get their children or their loved ones in trouble, right? Even if they know of a beef or if they know of a situation that's brewing or if they know that they may have a hidden weapon, how can we jump ahead of that without the explosion, if you will?
So a lot of ways. One, any complaint that you make to us can stay anonymous, and we can keep it anonymous, and the courts have upheld that we're not compelled to release some of that stuff. You can go through the mayor's office and their street team, Safe, Hopeful, Healthy. You can let them know, and then they can let us know without giving us any information on who made that complaint. Crime Stoppers has been around for a long, long time. They actually give monetary awards out for people that stay anonymous that report crimes or crimes that may happen. So a lot of different venues that way that people can reach out, and if they want to make sure that nobody finds out who they are, we keep them anonymous.
Absolutely. And I encourage you to keep the line of communication open. Make sure you're logging on to brpd.com, or if you want to chat with the chief, you'll be able to find him here at least once a month, and you can always go to his website, submit those questions. How do we do that?
Yeah, brpd.com, lower right-hand corner, chat with the chief. Or my email address is also on there. It goes straight to me and to my assistants, and we can get your questions answered. Follow us on Facebook, constantly posting new things on there about programs that we have, our citizens academies, and the weapons safety handling, and women's self-defense classes, which come this fall, I'm expecting you to be at.
I'm there. It's a field trip.
I'm going to have you there. And so all those kinds of things, especially on our Facebook, we're trying to, get more going on Instagram and TikTok, just so that we can do whatever we can do to show people these are the things that we're doing at the Baton Rouge Police Department. Absolutely.
And all of those things are very needed. So let me know. We're going to have a whole field trip. I'm bringing the whole crew. It's going to be amazing. And this is an extension of your office. So whenever you have anything going on, walk around the corner, you already have the keys to the building. Just come on in,
I appreciate it so much.
Anytime. I know you have more work to do, so I'm going to let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Thank you so much.